Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Augustin. I'm very happy here to have sharing to everybody. I'm the first foreign speaker after the keynote, so I feel a little bit nervous because I think maybe I'm the keynote speaker too, but actually not. Okay. Let us today we will discuss about the change. As we know, continuous improvement is one of the core practice of DevOps. It could drive us to get better and better. However, improvements also means change. It will maybe bring some uncomfortable or uncertainty to your team or to your organization. And if you people feel they are uncomfortable, they may try to stop or slow down the improvements. And that is really a critical trouble for every change leader. So today we will discuss this topic. Okay. Okay, it's really slow. Sorry. I'm Augustin. I'm a teacher and also a consultant in software engineering domain for help people to improve their software development system or the software trouble, for example, the technical debt in the information system. I love the software and I like to discuss the software with my friends. So if you don't mind, you could find me from the LinkedIn or the email, and maybe we could discuss software just like a friend. Take it easy, huh? Okay. Okay. Let us start today's sharing. The first page, because every time I talk about a change, everyone talk about change, everybody will show, oh no, the term is so heavy. That is not my business. It's about my boss. And I don't want to this about that. But you know, the change is really common, especially for engineer, because we change the code every day. We change the code every day or review other one's code change. And maybe we will feel a little angry because we don't know what the implementation, how the implementation is good or bad, and we don't know what does he or she realize this kind of implementation. But you could find them and discuss the code with them and figure out it's controllable and it's not really directed related to myself. So we could accept that, but the change is everywhere for engineer. And the second one is as the team improvements. Sometimes we want to introduce new type of testing or small practice or a small tool to our pipeline, and it will impact your behavior, but it's small, and the change is proposed by your team. So if you need the help, you could find them, discuss them, you have support. So you will feel, okay, I could overcome it, and we'll try. It's still okay now. But the next one change is change your goal, change your everything, your team structure, you rearrange your organization, or sometimes the most common case from a customer is to want to introduce a platform, a whole complete solution, especially the tool, and replace everybody's tool set and say, okay, now you have to use the new one, not your original one. But the engineer will feel very, very, very uncomfortable because they don't know why you are do that. So they just feel about uncertain. They're afraid that they cannot affordable for that. So they will try to stop the change. They will become the resistance. And we call such kind of resistance as the friction. And even worse, sometimes your boss will say, okay, the change will bring the benefits to everybody, but you know, if we feel uncomfortable, we will say, okay, no matter what you said, I don't want to listen. I just think that is bad and I want to stop that. But why? Because we don't know the impact, the impact of the change. We don't know the scope. So we'll think maybe everything will be changed. But sometimes maybe very small part of your daily job. So we need to take care about, we need to figure out the whole picture to let all the participants know the scope of the change. And in Taiwan, this pie chart is based on the report on the digital transformation, especially for the change challenge. There are two kinds of main challenge here. One is we call the friction. The participant engineers don't want change. And then in the other side, it's about your boss, your senior executive, your sponsor. They will think, if I do such kind of change, the return is enough, or we adopt those kind of platform tool, maybe it's unaffordable. So they will want to figure out all the things and try to force you to give them some index or metrics or any report to them to convince them, because they don't know. But we could observe there are a common trouble here. No matter your boss or sponsor or yourself, you don't know the impact scope. If your sponsor, you are a senior executive, know the impact scope, they could estimate or find the root why I need to improve it. And our engineer, me, know the impact scope. We could know how the impacted huge, large or small, and we may feel more comfortable. So we have to figure out the whole picture and then find out the impact scope. So we need to know the network. The network here is about is composed by a lot of multiple process. For example, we develop a software. We have a change process from requirement. From requirement, you design, you plan the requirement, design the requirement, and design your architecture and the programming and the review code, testing, review code, and the delivery and the maintenance. And maybe you need to monitor the service and the whole process. But the process will have its own upstream and downstream process. For example, in the software development, maybe that is a new product. So you have to take care about a new product process. And sometimes we need the auditing requirements. So how do actually I can see that. Okay, sorry. Okay, fine. Here the network means the tools, means the people, because the process is composed of input, output, the people, and the tool and the activity, and then maybe the activity is some kind of a sub process. So the process will form a whole network and let you know all the stakeholders. But okay, good, thank you. Okay, that's going on. So we talk about the network, we talk about the process, and you will think that this process is so common. I could analyze or collect some document, and I could know the whole picture and make a really beautiful presentation to my boss or to my engineers, and everything well done, right? The answer is yes or no, because while you inventory your process, that is a really a nice time point to invite your stakeholder to join your change. And in that way, we may miss some information because everybody have their own preferred dimension information. So they may think, okay, I have gathered enough information, but we miss something. So we do need a tool or framework or some simple model to help us to guide us to think about what is the system, what is the network. For me, I will use the Pels model. The Pels model it stands for the 6 dimension: the process, objective, window, evaluation, relation, structure. It means 6 dimension to describe a system. The system is what we mentioned. Simply, we could think that is the network, all the materials describe the network, and all the materials describing that network. So the system, for example, your software development system, your tool, your engineer, your process, and anything, your discipline, your policy, it will constitute the list system, and leverage the list model. We could inventory all the things more completely, and let us have a consistent quality, especially for analyze or inventory your system. And now we could, but after the modeling, we could leverage this model to leverage model and the change management skill, for example, ADKR or quarters model or something else, something change technique to plan your change. And the most important here is that because it's 6 dimension, you know the 6 dimension at the very beginning. So you could invite different experts or different stakeholder at the very beginning, not in a sequential order. You could invite them in the very beginning. So that is the key to use the modeling skill to find out, to figure out your whole picture. So I want to leverage Gen AI adoption as context or background to describe how to use the powers model to analyze the changes. So here we go. This is a sequence of steps I will use, not by the alphabetical of the powers. The first step is confirm the objective. Of course, you need a goal, and the next one is process, and next one window, structure, and relation, and the final one is evaluation. And we will step by step to describe what is going on and what is the steps. So the first step is the goal. Of course, we assume the team has adopted the DevOps before, so the original goal is a highly effective and efficient way to develop the software, and all the DevOps practice they have adopted, and they can continue to improve themselves. And now maybe your boss or your team member can say, okay, let us to use in the Gen AI, right? Okay, it's so popular, and they may lower down your effort. So we want to use that, but sometimes in many cases, I discuss about the Gen AI with my customer and friends. They will use the tool as their goal. There may be a highly effective and efficient way to develop the software with Gen AI. However, tool is a tool. If you don't have the trouble, you don't have the pain point, the tool is meaningless. And you cannot convince your boss because they don't know the technique so well. You have to try very hard to present what is Gen AI, but I think that is really hard. So we have to focus on the reason why, the business value, to define your goal. For example, here we want with a better DevOps in our original process, in our original goal. But better DevX here it means developer experience. Okay, better dev experience is very abstract and hard to understand. So we need some more concrete mission to support the goal. Here, there are two examples here. Is shorten the development cycle, reduce the repetitive work, and the second one is increase job certification and reduce the cognitive load. It is our mission if we want to achieve the better developer experience. And now we have a goal. So actually, while you define a goal, you often can find a main process directly related to the goal. So the next step is to know your process, or say know your network. But an example, because the screen I cannot draw very complicated, so I just use a very simple flow to show the main process of a software development. Here, as I say previously, I will collect the static information first, and then based on that information, I will launch a process mapping workshop. And maybe we invite the security engineer, QA, project manager, or maybe your sponsor. If he or she could attend the workshop, that is really good because he met in the workshop. He will know you better, and your sponsorship will more stronger than before. And we will leverage the process mapping workshop to know the details of the process. And based on that, we have to find the potential change and the process fast. Let me see an example. This is in the background, that is the process. This is a process that we could see the team leverage a Kanban practice and leverage an iterative model to deliver their feature or bug or fix the bugs, and they have a review activity and build and deploy and go to the operation environment, and then I will ask everyone to brainstorming what you want to have on the original process. For example, on the plan and code, we will leverage the ChatGPT to summarize your document or help you to complete the requirement or give you some inspiration if you don't know how to do that. That is really important. ChatGPT, I think the Gen AI now, for those abstract summarize, or we don't need it produce some 100% correct answer, is very powerful. It's powerful. So we could leverage it to summarize or generate some document, because everybody don't want to write a document. Think that is really boring jobs. I know, but AI could help you that. And in the test and build fast, I will suggest you use the cloud and the client to generate the CI script, and the deploy also could use that to generate the script. Of course, we need to review it because the code generation is not 100% correct. So you have to enforce the code review activity here if you want to adopt the Gen AI technique. We will talk more details about this later. And the operation, maybe use the LLM to analyze your logs or something else. But you know, AI ops is not a new term for the DevOps. It's developed in very in many years ago. So the focus here is that we inventory the original process, and then we will spot the key potential change here. And then now we have a goal, we have process, and we have a process. So we know the change will impact who, the stakeholder. Where are your stakeholder? So now you could invite your stakeholder to discuss the boundary. Window here means the boundary. Means a boundary, just like a window, you will limit your view to let you just see this thing here and nothing else. So I leverage the window to describe the boundary concepts. So here is the or you could think that is the potential condition, but the condition is very has its diversity. We could leverage the when, where, who, and what to think about the change, the condition. For example, I assume the change is the impact team are composed from Taiwan, Singapore, and Japan. That's because it's really important, especially now a lot of engineers from everywhere is in remote working, and if you try to accelerate your change, you still need to take care of their time zone. Maybe they sleep, and then your notification cannot send to him very as soon as possible. So you have to know the geographically boundary, and another one is so-called workload tempo. Every team, no matter you use the waterfall, you use the agile model, whatever, you always have your speed to deliver, to implement the requirements in a certain period of time. So you need to find out the tempo, because if you know the tempo, you could break down your changes, or you break down your activities in each slot, and not so bring so too much burden to your participants. So that is really really important here, because they need time, they take time, change takes time. So and who and what is about the team stakeholders and project and products and the bugs and so on. And the next, now we have a boundary. We have a goal, we have a process, we have a boundary, and the next one is the structure. Sometimes the organization will think, your boss, your CEO will think we need to adopt a new technology, but we don't have enough experts in our company. But we still want that. But how to do that? We may build up an enabling team. For this is a very economic, effective idea, because nobody want to invest a lot of money to hire very AI experts for each team. They just want know their idea and their expectation could be achieved or not. If yes, they will hire more. So in common case, they will try to build a Gen AI enabling team and choose one of the team member as the AI champion. And the enabling team will co-work with those AI champion and share the AI practice to the team. Or if the team has any kind of trouble related to Gen AI, they will bring back to the Gen AI enabling team. Or sometimes the Gen AI enabling team may be co-work with you just to solve the difficult trouble here. And another important thing here is the structure means the organizational hierarchy or project hierarchy or the product hierarchy, and this is official structure. Sometimes we will want to make everybody to more have the patience to do something. Unofficial channel is still important. For example, we may launch every month for tech days, or there is a study group for sharing. But the important, the key thing here is that no matter official or unofficial, it always costs the time or anything. So the boss or your senior executive need to invest the time for those activities, especially for unofficial event, for example, sharing or tech day. Even a sharing, you still need to take time to prepare the sharing. So don't try to tell your engineer, okay, the sharing is not one of your job. It could get you growth, so you take your time after the office to prepare that. That is not a good way for the change, because your team member will try to stop the change because their effort they don't have they cannot afford such kind of sharing. And a static structure. After static structure, we have to talk about a relation. A relation means the dynamics in a team or in the organization. And actually, it only has the 2 points here. One is the communication protocol, especially for your stakeholder. There are a lot of different kinds of stakeholder, maybe a direct relative stakeholder or general stakeholders, and different kinds of stakeholder. You need different kinds of communication protocol. For example, for a general stakeholder or some people interested you change, you may launch every seasonal events to demonstrate what you did, what you done, or maybe launch an email just like a newspaper to let everybody know what you do. But for you, a relevant stakeholder, you may need a progress report every week, and maybe fast by fast to let them know the details and to control your sponsorship. So the communication protocol is really important. Besides for the stakeholders, sometimes if your organization build up a so-called A team, sometimes we want to try a new product. We will find all excellent guys within the organization and become a one team to accelerate the innovation. But this kind of team always have a lot of friction. Everybody are heroes. So sometimes the conflict is more strong. So if in this case, you have to build the team protocol to let everybody know how to interact with your team member, and to help your team, you have your team to pass away the storm of the team building. And another way, and based on the communication protocol, and that is very key here, because every change leader always want to show how their planning is good. So they will show their muscle at the very beginning. That the boss know I have a quick success, I have a big win in the early stage, but that maybe will become your burden after that, because the change takes time. For example, engineering practice, you adopt the engineering practice into your team, maybe take 3 months to 6 months. For example, we leverage a Kanban to an engineering team. It maybe needs 3 months or 6 months to get used to that practice. So change takes time, and don't give too much to your sponsor or your boss too much at the very early stage. So you need to manage the expectation. And the final one, The relation here we talk is about people to people, but the relation here also about people to software, people to information system, especially for those company which need to take care about the compliance and regulation requirements. They hope they expect innovation, but they are afraid those compliance regulation more. So that they will think the engineer use the new tools, use the new practice or new activities will violate the original policy. So we have to take care of this input as our change requirement. So the guardrail and the guidance here, it means that some kind of policy. Sometimes it may provide some template, for example, prompt template to let everybody know if you use the prompts to Gen AI and to get what kind of output. But here, let me see. Here is the really important, and based on what I observe, the four things is most important for any company who would like to adopt the Gen AI. The review activity is very important. The first number one is coding style checking, because the code generated is by, we don't know where they are, so the style will in any style, and that will lower down your maintainability. And the second one is you need to review the architecture, because until now the Gen AI cannot know the whole picture of your system or your service. They can provide the code snips very well, but they cannot take care about your whole architecture. So the architecture review and design still need the engineering's knowledge to make it correct. And the second one is I just mentioned previously, it maybe provide some prompt example or template for your engineer to taught them how to use the Gen AI first. And the last one is testing coverage, but even you don't need a Gen AI, you still need to get your testing more higher and higher. But not so higher is 85 is enough, but yeah. So now we have goal, we have process, and we have structure, and we have a relation, and the final one is the evaluation. If we just want to adopt the DevOps, we could leverage maturity model or readiness model or something or some model, and that could assessment where you are in the DevOps. But sometimes our change or our improvements cannot be measured. It cannot be measured. So here, I often use the GSM. The GSM idea is proposed by Google. It is included in the software engineering at Google. So GSM stands for G for goal, S for signal, and M for matrix. And the most important here is the signal. Signal just like a proxy, because your goal is abstract and it cannot be measured. For example, our goal is increase job certification, but how do you know what is job certification? We don't know. We have to define that. What is so-called, what is our job certification? So we will use the signal to describe which kind of signal to indicate we achieve the job certification. So here, maybe we could use the positive developer feedback on Gen AI. It's maybe the increase the frequency of the developer using Gen AI tools as the signal. And the final one is the matrix is more easy, because it could be see a number. For example, Gen AI tool usage frequency and the questionnaire certification survey by questionnaire. Sometimes we just cannot find the productivity metrics directly. We have to leverage the questionnaire to get the level or the current index. So while we use the analyze all the model, after that, you have to think how to evaluate your change. And if lucky, we have a model, for example, maturity model just mentioned before, you use it. If you cannot find that one, you need to take other way to find out, to define a matrix. Okay, maybe the matrix is not so good, but if you have the best nine, you could improve it. But you don't have a matrix, you cannot improve the matrix. We may find out an invalid matrix after we brainstorming this, but but at least you just you find an invalid matrix that after all. So I think the evaluation activity is very important in the modeling process. And based on the model, then now you have a complete model, and you could summarize all the potential change in the table. You could summarize all the changes on the table, and you hear the change by each dimension, and list out the potential change here, and you will know that they just summarize, doesn't have any details. So you could leverage other supplement or a wiki or document and make a reference on that everybody know. But such kind of summarized table is very important because you could let everybody know it just at the first sight they know what you want to do. And based on that, you could know, because the inventory process, the modeling process will know the current model, and you expected for those potential changes. And if the gap is small, you could one step to success. If the gap is too large, you have to by fast to finish your goal. And you could separate your potential change. You could prioritize your potential changes and become the sub-model between the later, and set up the related indicator to know where you are, and to make sure you could reach the final state. And that is the cycle. While I leverage the model to do the continuous improvement, I will find out the current model and confirm the change. And after confirming a change, sometimes we need to adjust the model because your boss will ask for some alternative. Although they agree your change, but they may don't agree your implementation or your idea. They think you need to provide some alternative to them to make the model more compliant or more suitable for the company. And the next one, the SQ and SS change and the C. And the SS change to C, you expected one, if become the current one, and you could go the next step. And this is my last slides here. I just outline all the dimensions here. The goal here is know what you strive for. Process is have a whole picture, and relation to help you to know the guardrails and manage the risk, and structure, know the skeleton of the context, and the window that you know the boundary and the evaluation, figure out where you are. So I hope today's sharing can help you in the real case. And if you have any question or you want to provide your idea with me, maybe now or later, this job is fine, because here is my LinkedIn, and maybe you don't mind could find me from the Facebook as well. But you know, everybody said nobody used the Facebook, so maybe you use LinkedIn, or you could send an email to me, just fine. You could choose the convenient way for you. Okay, thank you for your passion, and sharing. Finish.